Russia claims to have shot down Su-25, killing 500 Ukrainian soldiers. Russia claims to have shot down the Su-25 aircraft and destroyed a large number of weapons supplied to Ukraine by foreign countries. The latest announcement of the Russian Ministry of Defense on the results of the military operation in Ukraine on July 29 said that Russian forces have killed more than 500 Ukrainian soldiers and destroyed a large amount of foreign weapons and ammunition supplied to them. Supplied to Kiev, including ammunition depots for multiple launch rocket systems, M777 howitzers and two S-7 Pion self-propelled howitzers supplied to Ukraine by the US. According to the announcement of the Russian Ministry of Defense, the country's military forces shot down a Su-25 fighter jet and destroyed the temporary deployment point of the 118th Territorial Defense Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, resulting in 300 soldiers killed. The Russian Defense Ministry also stated that Ukrainian forces are being totally oriented. INO believes that the Ukrainian armed forces are trying to distract the families of the soldiers by telling them that the soldiers' casualties are missing or deserted, not the loss of life. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov said on July 9 that since the beginning of the military operation, Ukraine has lost 239 military aircraft, 137 helicopters, 1,503 drones, 353 named surface-to-air fire systems, 3,994 tanks and armored vehicles, 738 multiple launch missile systems, 3,117 field artillery and fire guns, 4,099 special combat vehicles. Ukraine's Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said Kiev had passed the test with the successful use of recently delivered long-range US artillery systems, but emphasized the high rate of waste of resources. The need for additional supplies of weapons such as vehicle covers and drones becomes more equipment grade. Mr. Reznikov called for more aid because Ukraine is suffering a lot of damage. In addition to long-range weapons, Reznikov said, Ukraine needs more weapons, including tanks as well as drones. Russia still maintains a dominant position in firepower over Ukraine, factors that have helped Moscow make much progress in the Donbas region in the east. Russia continues to use its predominance in eastern Ukraine after examining almost entirely Lugansk province, one of the Donbas in the two-province region. According to experts, after overcoming the strategy with the work of controlling Lugansk, Russia will rotate new units to replenish forces before launching a new offensive. According to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Army, in the past 2 days, Russia has shelled several cities, towns and villages in eastern Ukraine. The city of Chasiv Yar in Donetsk Oblast, eastern Ukraine on July 29 was triggered by a missile, causing at least 15 deaths and 2 injuries. Earlier, the city of Kramatorsk in Donetsk also received rain of missiles from the Russian military. Kiev officials believe that this could be a startup with a symbol for a more fierce attack. According to Ukraine, Russia's tactic is to bombard several weeks before an offensive, as it did in Lugansk. In the midst of Russian troops and firepower for the eastern battlefield, the Ukrainian army began to intensify counterattacks in Kherson, in the south of the country.